Did you hear about the 70-year-old woman, a well-known outspoken anti-Netanyahu activist, arrested for allegedly plotting to assassinate Prime Minister Netanyahu? You'd expect wall-to-wall coverage, political outrage, and emergency debates, and action from the authorities. Instead, barely a ripple in the media. Just a few muted headlines, quickly buried. This isn't just a shocking story. It's a warning sign. It highlights the dangerous atmosphere allowed to fester by the radical anti-Netanyahu camp, with silent complicity from the legal establishment, police, and mainstream media. Incitement from this camp has been normalized, and their violence has become inevitable. It's time that everyone wake up. We must talk about the elephant in the room. The one too many Israelis are afraid to name out loud. There is a deep, ugly agenda operating within our own country. And yes, it's being pushed not just by the international media and foreign NGOs, but by Israel's own entrenched deep state, mainstream media, and well-funded Israeli NGOs. Maybe some of them for a lot of money from the Biden-Obama administrations and US aid. These aren't fringe activists. These are people in our media, judiciary, security establishments, and even parts of our own government bureaucracy who have made it their mission to delegitimize fellow Jews, especially us proud Jewish resettlers in Judea and Samaria, and Jews who proudly support our faith, our homeland, and Prime Minister Netanyahu and his elected government. What's their strategy? Lies, smears, and a coordinated media war that would make Hamas proud, even parroting Hamas talking points. And worst of all, in many cases, it serves Hamas and makes it harder to save our hostages in Gaza, because everything is kosher for them to delegitimize proud Jews and Prime Minister Netanyahu, even hurting the chances to save the hostages. Remember the recent headlines about settlers violently clashing with IDF soldiers? That was total utter fabrications. Yet it ran nonstop for a week in Israeli mainstream media, and it was even out in global outlets. Why? Because that fits their narrative. The deep state will invent conflict between settlers and the IDF if it helps them tarnish those they fear most, patriotic, ideologically grounded Jews, more than they fear Hamas. And when the truth comes out that it was all a bunch of lies, crickets, silence, no apologies, no retractions, just silence, because their lies already did its job delegitimizing us. Next, we have the grotesque accusation that Israel is starving Gazans. Guys, Israel is sending in more aid than ever before to Gaza. It's Hamas that seizes the aid, hoards the aid, sells the aid, and uses it for their terror regime to hold our hostages and fight us. But the media and Israel's own human rights elites turn that into proof that Israel is committing humanitarian crimes. These are the nightly headlines in Israeli media, day in, day out. It empowers Hamas to not give in and negotiate with us, to hold on to our hostages. This isn't just a lie, it's a modern-day blood libel pushed by our own Israeli media, mainstream media. And Israeli voices are among the loudest spreading these lies. The shock of October 7th has worn off on them. No more do they focus on the evil of our Islamo-Nazi enemies. It's back to bashing Netanyahu, the settlers, and the religious right. As if our Islamo-Nazi enemies do not intend to kill all of us, including them, equally. Then we have the headline about the hate story claiming settlers burned down a Christian church in Samaria. Another total fabrication that was run with by the media. There was no arson, no settler attack, nothing. But that didn't stop the media from pushing it. And it certainly didn't stop peace groups from circulating it in languages all over the world to further demonize Israeli Jews living in Judea and Samaria and create a wedge between Christians and Christian support for Israel. They have no accountability, no interest in facts, just a convenient excuse to attack Jews who dare to live proudly in their biblical homeland. So the attempted assassination of Netanyahu is now the most shocking hypocrisy. A 70-year-old woman arrested for planning the assassination of a prime minister? And let me say that again. A plot to kill a sitting prime minister. And hardly any media attention in Israel. Compare that to the case a few years ago of a woman who mailed a bullet to former Prime Minister Naftali Bennett, who at the time well, still today, was the darling of the political left. Well, when that woman was arrested, that was wall-to-wall headlines. The woman was named, shamed, and punished, and she's still being punished today, and rightfully so. But when Netanyahu's life is threatened, silence, no media headlines. There's a legal gag on her name and picture. Why? Because the people who control Israel's mainstream media and cultural narrative despise Netanyahu. And worse, they're willing to turn a blind eye to our true evil enemy, our Islamo-Nazi enemy, as long as instead they aim at the right target, which is us. We need to wake up to this harsh truth. There are people inside our own system actively working to weaken the Jewish state from within. They demonize religious Jews, settlers, patriots, and soldiers, tell lies about the war and against our soldiers. They promote Hamas talking points while attacking our own IDF. They would rather see Israel harmed diplomatically, morally, even physically, than see it led to victory by a nationalist traditional government. This isn't about politics. This is subversion. We, the proud Jews of Israel and even in the diaspora, are no longer playing defense. We must continue to expose lies. We must stand by those who stand for truth, whether they live in Elon Moreh, Sderot, or in the Prime Minister's residence. We today are focused on restoring Jewish strength and moral clarity to our discourse and calling out the liars, even from within, who join with our enemies from without, who harm us all. They no longer have a monopoly on the media. We have our own voices. Enough is enough. We will not be silent. We will not be slandered. And we will not apologize for loving our people, our land, and our God. We are in the process of exposing the evil and spreading light, a lot of light. We have a great and bright future ahead of us. And part of that, yes, is focusing and calling out the evil and the darkness. And of course, shining that light bright of the unbelievable Jewish people back as sovereign in our ancestral homeland, becoming the light unto the nations we're supposed to be. We're shining more and more light every day, and with each day we're going to be drowning out all of the darkness from those powers, that deep state power from within. Am Yisrael Chai. Stick with us at the Pulse of Israel to continue to be inspired by the politically incorrect, belief-based truth. If you are not yet a subscriber to our daily, belief-based, inspiring, politically incorrect, truthful videos about Israel, the Jewish people, and the freedom-loving world, what are you waiting for? Go to pulseofisrael.com and click to subscribe today. And yes, we are a donor-based operation. We need your donations for support in order to make these videos and get our videos seen and do all the work we do. So every once in a while, whether a large donation or a small donation, just go to pulseofisrael.com and click on the donate button. Shalom, everyone, and thanks for watching.
Pulse of Israel, frontline videos from the Holy Land. Support our work by donating today.